Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, July 11th, 2016. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. The Grenadine island of Canouan is to see further development in the near future. This comes as Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves announced at a media conference today that a draft of a master plan has already been created for the development of Canouan's Charlestown village. Dr. Gonsalves explained that over the years he has constantly lobbied for the full development of the Canouan village, adding that his recent visit to the United States allowed him to hold talks with the team of Andrea Pignataro, who he said is the partner of one of the big investors on Canouan. The Prime Minister noted the project, called Towards Charlestown 2016-2021, comprises of 6 main construction phases.
Phase 1 has A and B, which would be, I should point out, a lot of community facilities, but also opportunities would have to be created for economic advancement. You just can't put facilities down. You have to have structures and framework for further economic upliftment. Because what is happening is this: we have gone through the period where there was a development in the north of Canouan. If I just back up a little, and very little being done in the village. Then, when I came to office, I said, listen, we can't have the village like this. We can't have a 5-star resort in the north, and the village doesn't get sufficiently developed. So we did a series of developments in the village.
The Prime Minister highlighted that other developments were taking place on the south of the island by private investors, and the Charlestown village is in dire need of its own economic enterprise.
Envisages facilities for economic development, but also for social amenities. And as put out by the developers in the north, and Mr. Pinataro, I said there are 6 phases. There would be towards 2021. And the idea is for these phases to be done in some respects sequentially, that is one after the other, but also at the same time overlapping. The first phase has 2 dimensions: the refitting, the retrofitting, the reconstruction of the Tamarind Beach Hotel. That's land which is owned by the government, but which is leased by the developers.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves outlined some of the developments that are in the pipeline for Charlestown village.
Sports campus in the outside of the developed areas. There's a proposal for development purposes, a yacht club with some residences too, and the development of the school complex, an entire school complex. Then the development of the market and the waterfront area, the mangrove park and the clinic, the fisheries section, and what is called an industrial hub. And there are details to each of these.
Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves is making it clear that the Citizenship by Investment program is not a free pass for all CARICOM countries. In a media conference today, Dr. Gonsalves noted that free movement and the facilitation of travel was discussed at the recently held 37th Annual Heads of Government CARICOM meeting in Guyana. He further noted that this country is the lone OECS country which does not have the implementation of the Citizenship by Investment program. And while he does not have an issue with countries who have this program, he is urging countries not to advertise the policy as providing the rights to enter and be in all CARICOM countries.
We don't hold that a citizen by investment, an economic citizen, is regarded in the same light as someone who has gotten the citizenship through birth, descent, marriage, naturalization, the usual accepted ways. And clearly there's a divergence of view on that. And those of us who don't support the economic citizenship program will hold that when we signed on to the treaty, it was not within our contemplation to embrace economic citizenship, economic citizens. We talk about citizens having the rights in the same way as the citizens which we recognize. They have undertaken that they will change, they prevail upon the service providers not to advertise in this way, to give the impression that you have the rights in the other countries.
5 OECS countries have implemented the Investment by Citizenship program, those being Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia. St. Vincent and the Grenadines saw the existence of the program in the initial years of the UAP government, but it was repealed shortly after. Vice President of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union, Vibert Lamking, has assured educators of an upgraded collective agreement. This announcement was made at the opening of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union, Canadian Teachers Federation, Ministry of Education, Basic Needs Trust Fund 2016 Teachers 2-Week Summer Institute. During the event, which opened today at the Peace Memorial Hall, Lamking spoke of the union's twofold mission to represent and to train the nation's educators. The SVG-TV First Vice President explained that the union needed teeth in its representation of its members if it is to ensure quality improvement.
We would attempt once again as a trade union to engage the authorities for us to sit together and come up with a modern collective agreement which can see us into the next couple of years. From our standpoint, we are clear in our mind what we want as a trade union. We have spoken to our members over and over as it relates to that. So we are prepared from now, or we were prepared since a couple of years back, to have a new collective agreement signed. And we will go forward as a union with this in mind.
Lamking said the teachers' union and the government had not engaged in negotiations to improve the salaries for some 16 years, and that needed to be addressed.
We have not put on the bargaining table our position as it relates to salaries. Instead, we have had, like all the other public servants, a percentage that the government comes up with and say this is what the public servants will receive. Again, any trade union that calls itself a trade union and does not engage in negotiations clearly is missing a chunk, a big chunk, out of what it ought to be doing as a trade union. Salary negotiations, collective bargaining, those are two pillars that trade unions should stand on.
In response to the teachers' union's call for salary increases, Minister of Education St. Clair Jimmy Prince outlined the importance of dedicated teachers committed to their jobs. Prince made it clear that while he heard the union's pleas, the union also had an equal duty to ensure that its members improve their performance.
As a union, to put equal emphasis when talking about quality of education, because I understand Mr. Lamking when he said that quality education has to do with provision of resources by the ministry, proper remuneration, also the attendance, the importance of the parents in the lives of children. I'd like some equal emphasis, though, when we talk about quality education, on the teaching part of it. I like equal emphasis on the professional part of it. I like equal emphasis on people becoming dedicated to the task which they've set themselves as teachers.
Meanwhile, team head of the Canadian Teachers Federation, Alan Walk, says the group was pleased to be part of this annual initiative to share teaching modules and skills with Vincentian educators.
Members of the SVG-TU executive, as well as the local teachers, to prepare workshops in the area of assessments, literacy, mathematics, science, social science, and information and communication technology. This collaboration has been positive and productive, and we have been delighted to have this chance to work closely with such dedicated and talented educators. We look forward to co-facilitating these professional development workshops over the next 2 weeks. And we are confident that each of you will return to your school in September with new ideas, new methods, and new energy as you begin the next academic year with your student.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Simone Kieser-Beach is assuring the public that the lone person with the suspected case of Guillain-Barré syndrome, the GBS, is being treated at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital and is in stable condition. This comes as a media statement was released on Saturday that an adult was being treated at the main hospital for the mosquito-borne related Zika virus. Dr. Kieser-Beach, in speaking with SVG-TV News via telephone, explained that the person was receiving the recommended treatment of immunoglobulin.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines has the first case of Guillain-Barré suspected to be related to Zika virus. We have not received any laboratory confirmation of this. However, we do have a case, and the person has a history that may suggest Zika virus infection preceding it. Be that as it may, we are treating the case as per the regulations and what has been recommended. The patient has been receiving the immunoglobulin, which is the treatment of choice, and the person remains stable.
The Chief Medical Officer advised persons to ensure that they reduce the opportunities for the mosquito to breed by keeping their environment clean.
Wants to remind all persons in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to take the necessary steps to avoid being bitten. Wear your long sleeve light clothing, insect repellents, but most important is the need for us to reduce the mosquito population. And the most effective way to do that is by reducing the breeding sites. So we urge you to turn over any containers that might be holding water that you're not using. If you have water stored, you need to cover those containers securely.
The National AIDS Secretariat's public sensitization campaign, which ran during the Carnival season, has been hailed a success. Speaking with SVG Television, the assistant to the director of the National AIDS Secretariat, Azoniel Vanlo, stated that the campaign, which was dubbed Catch the Vibe, Not the Virus, has had some success in reaching the targeted audience and therefore is expected to have a positive impact in the reduction of the spread of HIV/AIDS. Vanlo added that the Secretariat, which had a presence at many of the major Carnival events, had utilized various mediums to capture the public's attention.
During the Carnival season, we had a number of activities running. What we did was that we had advertisements on electronic billboards. We also had some posters that we posted in and around Kingstown and in some of the public transportation. We had radio ads, TV ads. We had ads running at the CDC shows as well. So those ads were really to raise public awareness, to remind people constantly during the Carnival season, to protect themselves, to make sure they were aware that there were services being provided by the National AIDS Secretariat during the Carnival season, and that was really it. We also did some condom distributions at CDC events as well as at some private events.
Vanlo stated that whilst there has been generally good feedback from the public during the Carnival season towards the sensitization activities, she expressed disappointment in the public's lack of participation on their online survey, which in her view is a valuable tool in their fight against HIV/AIDS.
Trying to gather from the public whether or not they thought the Carnival campaign was effective. Now, The thing with this survey is that it was a paid survey. We paid for it to be promoted on Facebook, and the reach was actually around 7,000 people. And out of those 7,000 people, only 32 people took the time to actually respond to the survey. So a lot of people, seem to know about it, but in order to help us to progress and understand our shortcomings or whatever, a lot of people aren't really willing to take the time out to answer a 10-question survey to let us know how we can become better in the future. So that was a bit disappointing, but I think generally people really appreciated the effort that we were making.
Vanlo also noted that several factors prevented her organization from conducting sensitization activities during the rural carnival events, but promised that the Secretariat plans to have a presence during all the 2017 carnival events.
I think that was really, a time constraint, a financial constraint, constraints were involved as well. So for next year, if all goes well, we really, really want to reach everyone. We want to get to the Grenadines, we want to get to the rural carnivals, Mespo, and so on. Really want to make it a much bigger reach so that people can know that we're not centralizing everything and the effort isn't only on the major carnival activities in Kingston. We really want everybody to feel included, and we don't want anybody to feel like they're being left out. So unfortunately this year we were not able to do that, but next year we're going to start planning earlier. We're going to get finances and everything in order, and we're going to make sure that we can make our presence felt and reach as many people as possible.
Artist Kehalia Beach has expressed the view that the pay-per-view system is and has negatively impacted the CDC's carnival events. During the Sunday Hits talk, it was stated that while pay-per-view may be helping SVG's carnival in terms of marketing, it has significantly lessened the attendance at carnival shows because it allows persons a choice of watching the event in the comfort of their homes. Beach said that while this may be cheaper for persons, it is causing the events to suffer and suggested various incentives to get persons to attend.
You have to realize the attendance dropping because, yes, people have the opportunity to stay at home and watch it. And it's cheaper all around. You don't have to do your hair as a woman, you don't have to do no makeup, no nails, you don't have to buy no clothes, you don't have to pay to eat out, you don't have to buy drinks, you just lay down on your couch and you light tea and you watch the show. I want to express something then. If you know that the pay-per-view is competing with the attendance in the park, let us give the patrons who come to the park like an additional incentive that those ones at home won't get. So like if I'm coming to, let me say, Flo is my sponsor, you tell me Flo can give me a nice little Samsung something for give and they do a little door raffle. Just do some giveaways or have a special distinct something that brings you to the park.
Panelist Rodney Small, also a panelist, pointed out the need for events to be better organized, ideas to be recorded, and emergent issues to be addressed early.
When I became a member of the shows committee, every proposal or recommendation I had, I put it in writing and with solutions. We have an issue with the vibrance of the show. Now, it would not take us anything to do up a document with a proposal. Listen, so come on, I think you should do it this way, do it that way. Then you behind of it, you do a production guide.
Small is also of the view that assessment is key and that the CDC needed to adopt this initiative.
Assessment and observing your event is important. You know what I mean? It's very, very important. And as a member of the shows committee, it's something that I say to all the members too. While the show is going on, take a trip around the park. See when this DJ is playing, how people are reacting to this DJ. So next year, you know what? We're not going to implement this because it didn't sit well with our people. Assessment, postmortems, and all these things are very important. And I'm speaking generally as somebody who also hosts that event. Because how would I know, boy, this jazz segment didn't sit good with Blondie if I never did my assessment? How would I know, boy, you know what? Here we're going to do this year. We're going to free up the park for Carnival Tuesday in the park and just make it a free event. How would I know if that work? You understand? We need to assess everything.
The Sign Hill Euphonium Steel Orchestra has once again emerged at the top of the game by securing the coveted 2016 Panorama title. In an interview with SVG-TV earlier today, captain of the orchestra Tillal Webb noted that hard work, dedication, and the overwhelming support of the Sand Hill community were the primary factors responsible for his team's recapture of the coveted Panorama title.
It's a great and exciting feeling for us in the Sand Hill Phonemic Orchestra. We celebrated for a long period of time, even though Carnival had finished, and our community was being us to the max. They really came out with us and supported us. In fact, after the Panorama in the Sand Hill, we had a nice reception in the road by the Panyard and our celebration up there. The community came out and supported us, and we were really happy. And right now we're still celebrating actually. Well, yeah, we always working because once Carnival finishes, we have a lot of work to do. So we tend to go back to the giant board now, look for a song and get ourselves organized for next year.
Webb noted his pride in the junior band, adding that their efforts had made for an excellent performance, and he promised the band will continue to push the development of Pan and Pan music through their annual summer program.
If a junior band does not affect California, it builds us because we have the young kids who are from 5 years old playing against kids who like from 12 and up, so it's kind of more challenging for them. But our training program is the breadwinner of our band. Because what we do as the training, we don't throw them away. They come back after the summer program is finished, and we keep them and then they join the junior band after, and they come up into the senior band as they go. So it's a kind of breeding ground for our band. Because this year for junior Panorama, we had about 20 of the trainees from last year playing junior Panorama this year. So it's a kind of breeding ground for the band. Well, the program goes from 7 years old up to 18. But sometimes we do have an adult program if people ask for it.
Webb highlighted the emerging demand by the public to be a part of the orchestra, adding that patrons can definitely look forward to greater things from Sand Hill Euphonium Steel Orchestra.
Junior Panorama Day, I've been getting calls. Parents want to know when we're having this program to help, They want to join the band. Some other bands want to join us, and, everybody want to be the winners, so, that's how it is all the time. Yes, we just want to thank our sponsors and all our members and executives. We want to thank our main sponsor, Flo, Chica Graves, Must Be Charitable Trust, Must Be Company. Can't name all right now, but we want to thank them very much for their small contribution. It has gone a long way, and we hope you continue to work with us. Right about now, we're so happy that we won this Panorama, and it makes us ready to prepare for next year's Panorama.
Aimed at developing and empowering young citizens so that they can positively impact society, Junior Chambers International JCI St. Vincent continues to engage the younger generation in activities aimed at enhancing community growth. Formerly known as JC St. Vincent, the institution, which will on Saturday, July 16, 2016, celebrate its 57th year of existence, has designed a week of activities to commemorate this milestone. In an interview with SVG-TV earlier today, JCI SVG Secretary Kamita John noted that the week of activities, which had commenced on Sunday, July 10th, will seek to involve the general public.
Over the years, we have become a prominent organization. I know some persons can relate to JC's back in the day when there was JC's Radio, being a JC's public speaking competition. And also, a lot of persons would have benefited from leadership development. Over the years, things would have died down, and the idea now is to try and build it back. Today, Tuesday, we begin our set of training sessions. The first one will be on the area of the JCI Creed and Respect, and it will be facilitated by 2 of our local senators. We continue training tomorrow. Under the area of customer service, this will be facilitated by another local senator. On Wednesday, we will see training from our National Vice President, Quincy Devines, who hails from Tobago, and he will be making his official visit to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He will facilitate 2 sessions, one on Wednesday in the area of project management, and the other on Friday on the area of effective communication.
John outlined that the non-profit, non-governmental organization planned, among other things, to show appreciation to its major stakeholders and to give back to the community by making a donation to the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. She further added that JCI, which has celebrated 100 years of global existence, will continue to contribute to youth development.
The organization develops skills for persons, knowledge, and an understanding to make informed decisions and to take action with as it relates to community problems and the globe on a whole. Last year, we celebrated 100 years with over 200,000 members in more than 5,000 local organizations across the world. On Thursday, God's willing, we anticipate a donation to the Milton Keaton Memorial Hospital. And on Saturday, we plan to culminate with a cocktail, and this will be open to our members and our associates in terms of stakeholders who would have collaborated with us on our projects and various activities.
Senior Magistrate Bertie Pompey is of the view that the offense of men going about and assaulting women has become too prevalent in this country, and a strong message must be sent via the court. He made this point at the Kingston Magistrate Court before imposing a $500 fine upon Ralston Harry, a farmer of Lomans Bay, after he pleaded guilty to the offense of assault on his former common-law wife of the same address, causing actual bodily harm. Harry was ordered to pay the fine in 2 weeks, failing which a 4-month jail term will be imposed. The court heard that on the date in question, Davis received a phone call from Harry asking her whereabouts. She responded by hanging up the phone and going outside her house, upon which she received a blow to the back of her head from Harry, who then proceeded to beat her. Lawyer Jomo Thomas, who represented Harry, asked for leniency but concurred with the magistrate's observation.